नंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtike Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya As much as possible, let's try to recite it in unison. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Text 21. I can't see it. किमद्य तस्मिन् करणीयमाशु मे यदर्थतन्त्रो न विहन्ति विक्रमम् स्त्रिया स्वशुर्गुरुमत्यवधोऽयम् यशश्रियं हन्ति अनुकालमायुः किमद्य तस्मिन् करणीयमाशु मे यदर्थतन्त्रो न विहन्ति विक्रमम् स्त्रिया स्वशुर्गुरुमत्यावधोऽयम् यशश्रियं हन्ति अनुकालमायुः किमद्य तस्मिन् करणीयमाशु मे यदर्थतन्त्रो न विहन्ति विक्रमम् स्त्रिया स्वशुर्गुरुमत्यावधोऽयम् यशश्रियं हन्ति अनुकालमायुः Please recite. Ladies, please. Kim, what? Adya, now, immediately. Tasmin, in this situation. Karaniyam is to be done. Ashu, without delay. Me, my duty. Yat, because. Arthatantraha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always determined to protect the sadhus and kill the asadhus. Na, does not. Vihanti, give up. Vikramam, his prowess. Striyaha, of a woman. Swasuhu, of my sister. Gurumatyaha, especially when she is pregnant. Vadha ayam, the killing. Yashaha, fame. Shriyam, opulence. Hanti, will vanquish. Anukalam, forever. Ayuhu, and the duration of life. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Comes a thought. What is my duty now? The Supreme Lord, who knows his purpose, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, will not give up his prowess. Devaki is a woman. She is my sister, and moreover, she is now pregnant. If I kill her, my reputation, opulence, and duration of life will certainly be vanquished. Purport. According to Vedic principles, a woman, a brahmana, an old man, a child, and a cow should never be killed. It appears that Kamsa, although a great enemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was aware of the Vedic culture and conscious of the fact that the soul transmigrates from one body to another, and that one suffers in the next life according to the karmas in this life. Therefore, he was afraid of killing Devaki, since she was a woman, she was a sister, and she was pregnant. A Kshatriya becomes famous by performing heroic acts. But what would be heroic about killing a woman who, while confined in his custody, was under his shelter? Therefore, he did not want to act drastically by killing Devaki. Kamsa's enemy was within Devaki's womb, but killing an enemy in such a nascent stage would not be an exhibition of prowess. According to Kshatriya rules, an enemy should be fought face to face with proper weapons. Then, if the enemy is killed, the victor becomes famous. Kamsa very conscientiously deliberated upon these facts and therefore refrained from killing Devaki, although he was completely confident that his enemy had appeared within her womb. We'll take a little bit more from Krishna book. This is chapter 2 of Krishna book. I'm going to read from middle of the paragraph. Devaki became the residence of the absolute truth, but because she was confined within the house of Kamsa, she looked just like a suppressed fire or like misused education. When fire is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge, which does not benefit the people in general, is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kamsa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamsa, however, saw the transcendental beauty of his sister Devaki, and he at once concluded that the Supreme Personality of Godhead had taken shelter in her womb. She had never before looked so wonderfully beautiful. He could distinctly understand there was something wonderful within the womb of Devaki. In this way, Kamsa became perturbed because he was sure that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who would kill him in the future, had now come. Kamsa began to think, what is to be done with Devaki? Surely she has Vishnu or Krishna within her womb, so it is certain that Krishna has come to execute the mission of the demigods. And even if I immediately kill Devaki, his mission cannot be frustrated. Kamsa knew very well that no one can frustrate the purpose of Vishnu. Any intelligent man can understand that the laws of God cannot be violated. His purpose will be served in spite of all impediments offered by demons. Kamsa thought, if I kill Devaki at the present moment, Vishnu will enforce his supreme will even more vehemently. To kill Devaki just now would be the most abominable act. No one desires to kill his reputation, even in an awkward situation. If I kill Devaki now, my reputation will be spoiled. Devaki is a woman, and she's under my shelter. She's pregnant, and if I kill her immediately, my reputation, the results of my pious activities, and my duration of life will all be finished. Om Ajnanathmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, nice to see all of you again. Thank you for joining Bhagavatam class and giving me an opportunity to share with you and hear from you as well. When I read about Kamsa, somehow I get the feeling that he is a fellow with a very, very, very serious bipolar disorder. And he needs help, maybe medication, whatever, but he needs help. Because he just goes through these highs and lows like anything. On the one hand, he will take a very humble position and drive the chariot of his sister on the occasion of her marriage. Very happy. Suddenly there is a voice in the sky. Kamsa, this Devaki's child is going to kill you. Draws his sword, holds her hair, ready to chop off her head. Okay, like that. And then he's told, no, 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 no. It's the eighth child, right? So Vasudeva promises, I'll bring the children to you. Oh, okay, very nice. Just put them in jail. Puts them in jail. When the first child is born, on the one hand, he seems happy that it's his, nephew. But then as soon as the baby comes, he's ready to kill the child. Looks at the child and says, after all, small baby, come on. This is not the one, it's the eighth one. So Vasudeva, take the child back. Vasudeva takes the child back home. His ministers and others tell him, who knows? Vishnu is very tricky. He said eighth, right? Who knows? Really? Bring the child back. Holds the child and smashes the child, newborn baby, to the ground. When you see newborn children, however big and muscular you are, you get into this, because they are like that. But so what must Kamsa go through that just didn't evoke in his heart? And not just one, 6 children he murdered. And then when Devaki is pregnant again, this time, of course, there's a whole episode of one child being born, and there was supposed miscarriage, and he's feeling very sorry for Devaki. Oh, my sister went through a big miscarriage. And now there's the 8th child. He's thinking, this must be Vishnu. Should I just kill her and end this whole thing? But if I kill her, I will be killing a woman. I'll be killing a woman who's in my shelter and care. And she's pregnant. No. I don't think it's the right thing to do. So Kamsa is in the middle of these mood swings, if you will, finds himself at the juncture where he has to decide what he's going to kill. And we all find ourselves in similar situations. Okay? And I'll explain. On the one hand, Kamsa has to kill Devaki and the child, right, to protect his life. He has to kill. But if he does this, then along with that goes his Yasha, that's the last line of the verse. Yashaha, Shriya, and Ayuhu. So any person who has a sense of honor, which is pretty much every living being, we have some pride and some honor. We carry about it everywhere. And these 3 things, every person tries to protect. Yasha, Shriya, and Ayuhu. Yasha means fame or reputation. Not all of us may be famous. I certainly am not. But we all have some reputation. Exists Shriya. Shriya means opulence or wealth. And third is Ayuhu, longevity or life. And if you notice, then a person pretty much protects at all times one or all 3. Of course, for each person, one of these 3 is more important than the other 2. You find certain families who come from or persons who come from a very reputed family, they will hold reputation higher than money or even life. I'll die, but I will not spoil my family reputation. For some persons, wealth or Shriya is held highest. Reputation can go to hell, I don't care. I want the real honey. And they may engage in activities that will bring wealth but will cut their life down, meaning they'll take risks, some very, very major risks. And for some people, preserving life is so much important that they don't care about wealth, they don't care about reputation. Because at the critical point, they will hold on to, my survival is more important. So even if I'm known as someone who betrays, fine. Call me a betrayer, it doesn't matter to me. My life is more important to me. So people have different sets of values. Here Kamsa is thinking, if I kill this sister, she's my sister, she's a woman and she's pregnant. If I kill her now, all these three will also go. But if I preserve her life, I preserve these three, but at some point I will die for sure, because I'm trying to preserve these three, but my life will come to an end. So what to do? It's a tough situation to be in. So that's his dilemma. So he became thoughtful. And his decision criterion is, well, whether I kill Devaki or not, Vishnu is very determined. That's the word here. Artha tantro navihanti vikramam. Artha tantra means determined for the result. That is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Once Krishna determines he needs to accomplish something, I'm speaking colloquially that Krishna has to accomplish something. He really doesn't have to accomplish anything. It's already accomplished for him. But from a point of view of, if he determines that he has to accomplish something, doesn't matter, however, Krishna will make it happen without violating principles of dharma. So he's thinking, well, Vishnu is very determined and he will succeed. So what do I do? That's we find ourselves in life's some very critical situations. What to do? Do we forsake our reputation and wealth for the sake of life? Do we forsake wealth for reputation? What do we do? It depends on the value system that we carry. Okay? Now each of us, we make decisions in life on the basis of the value system we carry. And we all get our value systems from past life, current life experiences, and education. Of course, when I say past life, it also includes the family or the culture that we are part of. So depending upon the country that I am born in, depending upon the religious system I am born in, depending upon the circumstances, my experiences, my past life, all these combine to give us our value system. However, those value systems are formed by history and time. Then we come to Krishna consciousness, and then we are presented a whole different value system. Some items match. Speak the truth, do not cheat, do not covet other people's property, except there are some moral lessons that match. But Krishna consciousness as a value system is quite different. We have to learn to let go our existing, what I call biases, and adopt the value system given by Krishna consciousness, by our parampara. We get one system of values from the seminal parampara. We all are coming in some generation after generation, right? And then there is the spiritual parampara. So this transition where we go from the old value system to the new value system is a daunting and difficult journey. So we need practice. And technically that transition from the old value system to the new value system is called Diksha or initiation. So there is a Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is a verse, and the word is used as Kamsa. Kamsa is our hero here right now, but Kamsa also means bell metal. Bell metal. So bell metal is an alloy that's 3 parts copper and 1 part tin. When they're mixed, you make kartals out of it. And that word is called Kamsa. So Sanatana Goswami says, Yatha kanchanatvam kamsa rasa vidhanena. So rasa vidhanena, vidhana means a proper method. We call it alchemy. And rasa, Prabhupada uses a chemical name, but some transformation of mercury. So when you subject bell metal, kamsa, to a proper chemical process using mercury, that turns into gold. And then he says, Tatha Diksha Vidhanena, by the process of initiation, Dvijatvam Jayate Nirnam. A ordinary human being becomes twice born. Twice born Dvija means one with cultured values. Everyone is born into the human species. Only a few become human beings. So what takes a person from being in the species to a human being? Culture or values. And it's not just any value. A proper value, a theistic, Krishna-centered value system. And Diksha, or initiation, is meant to transform us to adopt from this value system, whatever that is, or no value system, to a very elevated value system. So in the previous value system, one is concerned, what about my reputation? What about my wealth? What about my life? And in the elevated value system, in Krishna consciousness, we're concerned about what about Krishna and the Parampara's reputation? What about Krishna's wealth? Of course, we don't worry about Krishna's age or lifespan, but we worry about the lifespan of the Parampara. Am I the one who's breaking it? Right? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the chain, however strong and made of iron, it's weak at its weakest point. The weakest link determines the strength of the chain. So when I'm part of the parampara, am I the weakest link? Is a consideration one should have. Yoga nashta. Krishna uses the word yoga nashta. There was this wonderful line, over time it has broken. So we are worried about the lifespan of the parampara as it relates to me. Am I the one who's the weakest link in this wonderful, amazing disciplic succession? So you see, it goes from a me-centered to Krishna-centered. Here Kamsa, because he's bell metal, he doesn't have the rasa or the bhakti yoga mercury, if you will. He's not transformed into gold. When you look at the life of great personalities, there are some persons who gave up their fame in the service of Krishna. Can you think of an example where someone gave up their fame? It was at risk, but they had to hold on to, I guess, Krishna consciousness or side by Krishna. How did Rupa and Sanatan give up their fame? Very good. Excellent. Excellent. They were Prime Minister and Finance Minister of the largest kingdom in India at that time. There you go. Bali Maharaj. Generally, Bali Maharaj is given as example of the next one, Shriya, giving up of wealth. He was the emperor of the universe. Any other example of fame that was given up or wealth that was given away? Harishchandra, very good. He was also in the descendant of, he's in the line of kings from whom Lord Ramachandra came. And recently in 9th canto we read about a king, Rantidev. Everyone knows the story of Rantidev? Yes? No? Yes? Indians? No? Yes? So quickly, and I'll move on. Rantidev was a king who decided to go on a fast because the kingdom was going through a famine. And he decided to go on a fast because the king's piety then flows through to the citizens. And after all these days of fasting, I think it was about 40 days of fasting, no eating, no drinking, anything, for 40 days. When the time came that he was supposed to eat, he sat down, and meanwhile all the royal granaries were all emptied because the citizens needed food. When he sat down, the story goes that 4 different kinds of people came to interrupt his eating, saying, "I'm very hungry. Can you please help me?" First, a Brahmin comes. "Oh, my dear king, I'm very hungry." So the king gives half his food to the Brahmana. Then when he sits down, another Shudra comes. "Oh, my dear king, I'm very hungry." He gives away his food. Then all that is left is some water. He's about to drink the water when a Chandala with 5 dogs comes and says, "My dogs are very thirsty. You're the king. Do something." He gives away the water also. Of course, it's a far more exciting story than the way I'm narrating it. But he's so keen on giving up such that his own life is at risk. But it doesn't matter to him. And then he finds out that all these great personalities like Lord Brahma, Indra, they've come to test and show us. In the first canto, Prabhupada gives the story of King Shibi. You know the story of King Shibi? All right. Long ago, once upon a time, there was a prince. There was a king by the name Shibi. And Shibi was very, very famous for being extremely charitable. So charitable that even the demigods heard about it. Generally, they don't worry about fake news here. So it's like, it's not their, they don't waste their time with what's happening on earth. Unless there is a king like Shibi. So when they heard it, they said, "Oh, really? Is he really that good? Let's go test him. We'll put a test." So one day when King Shibi is performing a sacrifice, a pigeon flew and sat on his lap, and the pigeon was shivering with fear. So he told the pigeon, No, don't fear. I'm the king. I'll take care of you." They said, "No, my life is in danger. This eagle has been pursuing me to kill me and eat me." He said, "No, now you're sitting on my lap. No harm will come to you." So the big eagle came swooshing down and said, "Oh king, that's my lunch. And you have no right to, stand between me and my lunch. This is the order of nature. This is how it is." So I said, "Whatever it is, I've promised that I'll protect the pigeon. So ask for something else." I said, "No, I want that one." He said, "Well, you want to eat the flesh of this pigeon. So how about this? Since I've promised I'll protect this pigeon, I will give you my own flesh. Okay? And my flesh, that's equal in weight to this pigeon's weight." "Oh, yes, agreed. Bring a scale." They put the pigeon on one side of the scale, on one end of the scale, and the king cut off his own flesh and put it on the scale on the other side. A pigeon is, after all, a very light bird, but guess what? The pigeon was heavy. So he wondered, wow, what kind of pigeon is this? Sometimes you find people who are skinny, but they're so heavy. Bones are very heavy. So he said, "Oh, some more flesh." And the more flesh he was putting on this side of the scale, the pigeon was becoming heavier and heavier. The king was astounded. And he said, I've promised that I will protect this pigeon. So he went and sat on the other end of the scale, saying, I will give up my life, but I'll protect a pigeon. Everyone clapped. Oh, amazing. And the pigeon and the eagle turned into Agni and Indra. Indra was the eagle and Agni was the pigeon. And they said, we came to test you because we heard about you. We wanted to make sure you are genuinely such a charitable person. You're willing to give your life for a value that as a Kshatriya you will protect. You're like a father for all living entities, not human beings, for all living entities. And so you are genuinely the greatest charitable person. So here, Kamsa is very concerned. I have to protect my fame, my opulence, and my lifespan. Now, the first part of the purport talks about when a woman or a brahmana or a child or a cow are violated, what happens? The entire Ramayana is pivoted on this one principle, that Ravana violated Sita Devi. This violated means he kidnapped her and held her against her desire in captivity for more than a year. The whole of the Mahabharata is pivoted on this one thing, that Draupadi was insulted, especially by dragging her by her hair. Sita Devi was also held at the back of her neck by her hair. So whenever a woman is violated, these three things, reputation, wealth, and lifespan, immediately finished. Immediately means the process begins immediately. It might take some time. So a person has to be very, very, very careful how they honor and treat women, children, cows, Brahmins, and the elderly. And so Kamsa, before he does anything to Devaki, twice it says, he's thoughtful. So his thoughtfulness is not from a high standard, but his thoughtfulness is, I'm playing with fire here. I should be careful. Do I take such a risk? The risk of everything that I worked for, fame, great wealth, all gone. Any thoughts, comments, suggestions, advice, objections? Please demonstrate to me that you're all alive, breathing human beings. There you go. Some indication, please. Right now it's not helping. Unless my voice is so hypnotically sedating. And it's also Tuesday mornings. So usually I used to have the honor of Monday morning Bhagavatam classes, where it was sure shot, siesta time. Let's make it fiesta time.
A very nice class. Your class always sweet. So I was thinking in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a nice verse regarding the initiation. Diksha kare bhakta kare atma samarpan. Say kare Krishna tare kare atma sam. Means at the time of initiation, the devotee, he dedicate everything, and simultaneously Krishna make him equal to him.
Thank you. You reminded me of something I was supposed to say, I forgot. The word Diksha, we heard recently, that Jiva Goswami explains, is made of two words, if you will. Di and Ksha, two syllables. And the Di stands for Divyam Jnanam, transcendental knowledge. And Ksha means Papasya Kshayanam, the eradication of sinful tendencies and still sinful behavior. So this process of Diksha, the transformation is only possible, remember, from this old value system to new value system is possible when these two things happen, Di and Ksha, that we take on transcendental knowledge, we imbibe this knowledge, not just, we can say it, but we can live it. And Kshayanam, that we make a conscientious effort to eradicate sinful behavior and tendencies in us. And this requires practice. This requires day-to-day cultivation. Therefore, it's very, very critical that we understand why we do what we do. The Prabhupada spent so much of his energy in writing so that we have this Divyam Jnanam carefully figured out. And the process of Bhakti Yoga, the day-to-day, is for the Kshayanam, to remove the sinful tendency. Very critical. So unless these two happen, then we cannot take on the value system. Now, our value system that we employ in our day-to-day activities, in decision-making, depends on our ego. When I think I am a man or a father or an employee or whatever, business owner or a management or a manager of something, or whatever is my ego, my decision-making will be on the basis of that ego. Right? You're the manager here. I used to be one, and when your situation will be like, okay, I'm the temple president, so how do I deal with this situation? Or if my son is going through something and I have to help him out, I'm a father. What's the best thing that a father can do at this point? That's how the ego allows you to tap into a value system. So at Diksha, our ego is supposed to change. The ego that we take on is, I'm a servant of Krishna. And that ego will allow for the Krishna conscious value system to work. Otherwise, many times we may be initiated, but we are working from this ego. I'm a temple president. I'm a father. I'm a man. I'm whoever. So then, although I'm initiated, I work from a different ego. So in any situation we are asked to step into, I'm a devotee of Krishna. What's the best thing? What's the best way that I need to react or act in this situation such that Krishna will be pleased? When that ego is active, then that particular value system or corresponding value system will be active. Otherwise, we'll always be at some place wondering, why is it not working for me? Why am I getting results that are kind of mixed? Thank you.
And the next verse also saying, Sei deha kare tar chidanandamay, aprakruta dehe tar charana bhajay. That means how, right after initiation, if you want to seriously take Bhakti Yoga, then his body is transferred into Chidanandamay. And because of serving the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yes, thank you. Anyone? Mataji, you had something?
Nityananda Prabhu, we were highlighting, the fact that Kamsa had this, he was Bell metal, so he had the missing component of the mercury or the bhakti part. So I was just reflecting, it's very interesting because that part in the purport in the beginning of who are the entities that should be protected, if his concern was, life, wealth, reputation, and particularly here, I guess he's looking a lot at reputation, and life, as you were pointing out. The interesting thing is that one could say that on a regular material level, he had completely ruined his reputation already because he had killed 6 children. So that's one of the entities that falls into that category of needing protection. And he was ready to kill a woman right in the beginning. So the thing that seems to have held him back was the fact that it was a woman who was pregnant, and one couldn't say was in his care, because she was, after all, imprisoned by him. So it seems the pivotal thing has to do with being pregnant, and yet on the other, because there's a mention somewhere back there that at the time when it appeared that she had a miscarriage, Kamsa lamented too.
Right.
So it's so odd, particularly this thing of the woman being pregnant seems to be the part that holds him back, because after all, one could say his reputation's already ruined.
So killing a woman is bad, killing a child is badder, and killing a pregnant woman is baddest. So for Kamsa, the first one, he was checked. When he was trying to kill Devaki, he was checked. When he tried to kill the first child, he first didn't kill, but then something else took on, right? His own, like I said, the value of his own longevity was at risk. So it didn't matter, he killed children. But now, pregnant woman, everyone's going to say, oh, Kamsa. They would already say it anyway, but this is like really the baddest, how baddest was Kamsa? Because there's no word like that, but you get that. This is really, it is so heinous that even Kamsa is thinking, should I do it? That's how we should see it. That is, harming a pregnant woman is so heinous that even Kamsa is thinking, wow, it's really bad, should I do it? Now, when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of Kayadu, all the demigods wanted to kill Kayadu because, this is Hiranyakashipu's seed in it. Narada Muni intervened. Please, don't do it. It's horrendous to do something like that. I'll take care of Kayadu. So even Kamsa is checked by killing a pregnant woman. Any other thoughts, comments? You guys, anything? Oh, you have something, Jitendra Prabhu?
Thank you. I've been authorized.
You only have 5.
5?
5 seconds.
Thank you for your class. I've been authorized by Prabhupada this side anyway. Now I'm going to forget my question. So let's take it out of my time.
So 9 minutes and trying to remember the question. Okay.
Nah. What was I going to say? So you messed me up. Thank you for your class, first of all. And my question and comment is regarding reputation. Kamsa did something what we, normally do is that we try to do the right things to protect our reputation. But we see that it doesn't matter how much right you do, like Haridas Thakur, he did all the right things, but still his reputation was slandered. So Krishna says in chapter 2, verse 48 of the Gita, that we should be detached from success and failure because some things are in our control and some things are outside our control. Inside our control is our character. Outside our control is what people say about our character. One of my favorite quotes says, ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them. We can't stop everything on the outside, opposition, criticism, rumors, or traffic. But if we allow what's on the outside to get on the inside, then we'll sink into fear, depression, anger, and vengeance. And Haridas Thakur, that's why he was always selling with Christian consciousness. So my question is regarding this reputation thing, regarding one famous pastime between Prabhupada and the disciples. Prabhupada's disciples came to Prabhupada and told him, Prabhupada, the newspapers, they're treating us like crap. They're slandering our reputation. So Prabhupada said, that's not crap. that's fertilizer. It's helping our movement grow, free publicity. So there's a quote that says, when life treats you like crap, think of it as fertilizer that's meant to help you grow. So my question is, how do we see Christians controlling everything and see the positive aspects of maintain our good character and personal integrity in all circumstances? How do we go about, what are some steps we can move forward to do that?
All that you said is absolutely true. At the same time, it does not negate the need for preserving one's honor and wealth, because one sees it as coming from Krishna. So Haridas Thakur, Prabhupada, our Goswamis, Acharyas, everyone, they didn't say, I don't care about my reputation. They only said, I cannot control what others think, but as far as I'm concerned, I will always stay right in the middle of the road. However, how others see it is something I can't control. But that doesn't mean I'll be at the edge of the road anyway. They're going to see of me anyway. That's very, very particular. Very particular. In fact, Rupa and Sanatan is an excellent example. These two great personalities, they opted for being ostracized by the entire Hindu community to save the devotees. Because in the time when they were there, this is how Hindus were converted to becoming Muslims. If you drink from a cup that a Muslim has drunk from, then you give up your Hinduism. So they were forced to drink from their cup like that, or they were forced to eat the same food the Muslim kings or Muslims would eat, and this way, I have violated my religion. And Rupa and Sanatan actually took on Muslim names. They came from the highest Brahmin families called Saraswat Brahmanas. There are different grades of Brahmanas. One is Saraswat Brahmanas, like thoroughbreds. They even dressed like Muslims, only beard, no mustache. They took on the name Dabir Khas, Sakara Malik. These are Muslim names. They were living like they were converts. Secretly, they were reading Bhagavatam at home. But that's how they were living. They dressed like that. They spoke Persian. Sanatan Goswami was expert at 7 languages, including Persian. And I think the icing on the cake is they were so good as ministers, so good in what they did in expanding the kingdom and making it rich, that the Nawab never looked into the books, never worried about administration. The guy was frolicking with women and drinking, and he was just having a good time. These two took care of the whole kingdom. But the motivation for it was not the money and fame. The motivation was all the Vaishnavas need to be protected. And so if the Hindus said, Sakara Malik, Dabir Khas, outcast, no problem. Fame can go to hell. Yes. Keshava Kishore Prabhu. It's 8:30, so time for me to shut up.
Thank you for the class, Nityananda. I was thinking that probably fame and
Wealth. Reputation.
and reputation had a fine line between them, but it seems like it comes like in different shades, different hues. Because sometimes we work for fame, people involuntarily gain fame or reputation doing things and people have perception of who we are depending of our actions or their own interpretations. And
famous people have bad reputations also, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And they work for that.
Okay.
And they love it. They want to be like Kamsa. Yeah, like Kamsa. works for, to be a
I
bad
saw
guy.
a bumper sticker the other day, so I don't mean to say anything about women, but I thought it was just funny. I said what? Well-behaved women seldom make history. That was a bumper sticker. Of course, applies to men too, but you get the idea. So famous, one can become famous or notorious, however they are, but they can have a reputation. Fame sometimes comes from activity and reputation comes from character. You can analyze it even more if you like. In Sanskrit, there are certain words. One is called yasha. Yasha means fame. But there is also another word called kirti. Kirti also means fame. So one of the acharyas explains that yasha means the fame while you're alive. And kirti is the fame posthumous. After you're dead, what people talk about you. That's called kirti. So when you're alive, when one is alive, what he or she does should be such that it should become kirti. You may be famous, but it should be lasting afterwards as well.
Janaka Pandit said, go for the real fame, which is to be an emblem of spirituality or religion.
Correct.
And thanks for elaborating on this verse in such a way that, it just comes from something from your past upbringing that you have such a...
If I tell you my past upbringing, then you might be confused whether I'm speaking about myself or Kamsa. But it's the grace of Guru and Prabhupada, and definitely Kishore Kishori. That's the only thing, if anything.
Prabhupada said that I am your fortune, you basically have misfortune, so we're
Right.
giving, when the devotees come, they don't really have fame in a sense, they have infamy. So they're giving up their infamy and then they're becoming, rightly situated. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else? Final? Oh, you have something? Please, go ahead.
I was thinking there are so many examples about that, like giving up fame for
A
serving
little
Krishna.
louder, please. I
Like there are so many examples of devotees giving up their fame or reputation to serve Krishna, and then Krishna himself does it too. Like when he took the chariot and the wheel, he didn't care about, I promised I'm supposed to be acting like a
Yeah,
kshatriya.
very
He
nice.
does it. So, like the relationship between the devotee and Krishna is reciprocal. And to get to relate with him, you have to be in that level of love.
Correct, and that's the new value system at the time of Diksha. I am a servant of Krishna. Okay? When one acts that way, then Krishna becomes overjoyed to participate in our lives in a very palpable, tangible way. Otherwise, Krishna remains as a neutral sanctioner. There's no fun in that. Very neutral. And sanctioning, that's what's supposed to come to you. Take it. But when he starts participating in our lives, then it makes a very big difference. But that only comes when we act from our true ego. I am a servant of Krishna. Thank you for sharing that. It's really nice. Something else? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. I want to thank on behalf of Hemangi. Unfortunately, she's been unwell, so she couldn't be here. You can turn it off. To thank all of you from Krishna House for staying with us, helping with some service or the other.